So first we start with common factors. So here I have shown the prime factorization of two numbers 84 and 24. So very simple, not difficult at all. The prime factorization is, or the factorization of these two numbers, if you notice the factor tree, some numbers appear in both factor tree of 84 as well as 24. They are known as common factors. So 6 is an example. If we focus on the prime factors, then 2, 3 and 2, they appear in both the factor trees. And of course, they are also the common factors of both 84 and 24. So common factors, very simple, not difficult thing at all. Now let's just focus on the prime factorization of these numbers 84 and 24. So the way I can do it is 84, the prime factorization would go as into 2 into 7. So it is the prime factorization. I have simply copied these numbers from the leaf of this tree. It's very simple, nothing difficult so far. Actually the concepts are very simple. 2 and then 2 into 2. So that is what I have done. Now if I multiply these three terms together, what can I do? I can write them together as 3 to the 4 to the 12 into 7. Similarly, I can write this thing as 12 into 2. One of the things that we'll notice, the way I have come up with this number 12 is that I have taken the common factors, the common prime factors between these two numbers. I have taken them apart and then I have multiplied them together. This number 12 is very important because it appears in factors as factors of both 84 as well as 24. Not only that, it is the highest common factor, means that I cannot come up with a factor bigger than 12 which would divide both numbers 84 and 24. It is impossible to do that because all the common factors between 84 and 24, which is 2, 3 and 2, is incorporated into this number 12. So this number 12 is the highest common factor, is known as the highest common factor of these two numbers. At the same time, since this number 12 is the largest number which would evenly divide both 84 and 24, this number 12 is also known as greatest common divisor or GCD. Two very important terms, highest common factor and greatest common divisor. They mean one and the same thing, and now you understand the meaning behind these two terms. Another thing to note here is that although the words highest common factor have the word highest and the greatest common divisor has the word greatest, always the HCF and GCD are less than the numbers themselves. So my number 12 is less than 84 and my number 12 is also less than 24. So do not get confused by this terminology. Although we call them highest common factor, because they are the factors, they have to be less than the numbers themselves. So very simple term. Now, of course, this 12 is known as SCF. We understand that. Very important. Okay, so we have already seen what SCF actually means. SCF is simply the highest common factor between numbers. So here we have a few numbers, and one of the ways to really find the SCF of these numbers is to list all the factors. So what I can do is that I can start like this. I can start with 126 and I can continue to list the factors of 126. So I can list down the prime factors. That is how we go about doing it. So we start with the prime factors and then we combine these prime factors in various ways. So then I can combine this and this, 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. Then I can come up with rest of the factors of 126. Similarly, for 252 also I can do the same thing. I can start with the prime factors and then I can combine these prime factors again in various ways. Okay, so that is simple. We already seen how to do this. Then next number is 315, and for that I'll repeat the same exercise. First, let me list the prime factors and then I will combine these prime factors and come up with all the factors of these numbers. Once I come up with the factors of all these numbers, I'll find the highest factor among those which is common to all of these three numbers, and that would be my answer. So that is one way of doing it. Of course, it is very cumbersome, so we try to not do this method at all. Okay, so one of the methods which we can use if we are bent upon listing the factors, if you indeed want to use this method, one of the things that you can do is that look at all the prime factors for 126, 252 and 315 all together, see which factors are actually common. Okay, so we are looking only at prime factors. We are not considering the other factors at all. We are not going beyond prime factors. We are only listing out the prime factors and trying to find the common prime factors across all three, mind you. Okay, so we have to make sure that we find the factors, prime factors, which are common in all three numbers. So we'll start. The very first one is actually 3. 3 appears here, here, and here. So we make a note of that. Again, there is a second 3 which appears here, here, and here. And so we make a note of that. My SCF is simply 3 into 3, which is 9, right? So that's kind of understandable. We have extracted all the common prime factors and multiplied them together, and of course that would give us the highest common factor. This would be the largest number which would divide all of these three numbers. Second method of doing the same thing, right? We are doing the same thing, but sort of extracting the common prime factors. We are doing the same thing, but in a little bit systematic manner. The way we do it is that we write down the numbers right here. I write down the number 3, which I know would divide this, this, and this. And to find out if the number 3 would divide these numbers, we can use divisibility test, for example. Then I do exactly that. I list down 3 here and I divide 126 by 3. The answer is 42. Then I divide 252 by 3. Answer comes out to be 84. And for 315, the answer is 105. Okay. The next thing we do is that we see what is the next number. If there is any number which would divide all three, at this point we need to find a number which would divide all three, not one of them, not two of them, all three of them. The number has to divide. For SCF, the number that we are writing here in this column has to divide all the numbers. Okay, so here now we list again 3 and we see that this 3 would divide all the numbers, and answer of course would be 14. 3 1s are 3, 8s are 24, and of course 3 3s are 9, 3 5s are 15. Okay, so that would be the, and after this point I cannot find any other number which would divide all three numbers. Okay, notice that 2 can divide these two numbers, but it would not divide this number, so we don't consider 2 at all. I have to write down number here which would divide all three. Okay, if there were 4, then that number has to divide all 4 of these numbers. So now I simply multiply these are my common factors, and I simply multiply this and I say that my SCF is equal to 3 into 3, which is equal to 9. So either method is fine. Listing down the common factors, all the factors, and then finding the highest is not a good method. You can use either this method from prime factors, or you can use this method. This method is the most preferable. It is the most systematic way of finding the SCF. Now let's move on. Okay, so this method, this is the summary of what we have done. We have included factors common to all the numbers. Okay, so that is important. We have to find out, we have to include a factor only if it is common to all the numbers. Okay, and then we include it as many times it appears common, right? So for example, in this 3 into 3 was common. Okay, so 3 was 2 times, so we included it 2 times. It's not that we included 3 only once. If it's common 2 times, we include it 2 times, right? So very simple, not difficult at all. Now that we understand how to calculate the SCF, we'll look at the word problems in a second, but first let's look at the properties of SCF. SCF is a factor of all the numbers. So that is true, right? In the sense that we already know that by virtue of it being the highest common factor, it is a factor of all the numbers. It is just that it is the highest possible factor. SCF is also the greatest number which can divide all given numbers, right? So for in this example that we just took, 126, 252 and 315, the greatest number which can divide all of these three numbers is actually 9. I cannot find any number bigger than 9 which would divide all the three numbers. The next property is that SCF is always smaller than or equal to given numbers, right? So equal to is also important. For example, if I have to find SCF of 6 and 12, I have to find the highest common factor between them. I have to find the number which would divide both 6 and 12, and at the same time it is the highest. The answer would be 6. So in this case my SCF is just equal to one of the numbers. Okay, so 6 and 12, 6 happens, 12 happens to be a multiple of 6, and that is why this is happening. But in this case my answer happens, the SCF happens to be one of the numbers, so that's why I have to bring in the equal to sign here. The next important and most important property is that if I take two co-prime numbers, for example 9 and 4, a very standard example, and I try to find out a SCF of these two numbers, that SCF would always be equal to 1. I cannot find any other number between these two, and that is by definition. We already say that two numbers are co-prime if there is not a common factor between them except 1. So 9 and 4 are co-prime only because they have only one common factor, 1, and therefore the highest common factor would also be 1. So by definition this is true, but it is very important property. SCF is always equal to 1 for co-prime numbers. You can expect Olympiad problems based on this fact. Okay, so in a subsequent class, when we'll be solving many more Olympiad problems, definitely we'll look at some of the problems based on this fact. Of course, by extension, this rule also applies to all the prime numbers, because all the prime numbers are co-prime by definition. So with this, now let's look at word problems based on SCF. Again, very important concept. Word problems definitely would come in your exam. So when we are thinking about word problems based on SCF, the problems would always be of this form. Suppose I have two walls. Okay, I have two walls. One is, let's say, 18 centimeters long. The other one is 12 centimeters long. I want to find out the length of the largest possible scale, or the largest possible scale length which could measure both of these walls completely, right? Evenly divide both of these walls, which could evenly measure both of these walls. So what am I saying? Okay, so what am I saying? I'm saying that there is a scale, let's say 2 centimeters long. So I brought a scale which is 2 centimeters long. I can do that, and this 2 centimeter long scale would evenly measure, okay, complete lengths of scales would be covered. That's what I mean when I say evenly measure this 12 centimeter long wall as well as the 18 centimeter long. Why is that the case? Because 2 divides both 12 and 18. Okay, so therefore only certain number of fixed numbers of scale, complete scales, would fit in 12 as well as in 18 if my scale length is 2. But the answer does not seek any scale length which could evenly measure these two walls. The question asks me the largest possible length. If I go with 3, again I would be able to divide both 12 and 18, but we are not looking for any number which could evenly divide 12 and 18. We are looking for the largest possible number which could evenly divide 12 and 18. What is that number? SCF, right? It is the highest common factor. So in such problems, when problem says that find the largest length, okay, find the highest number, those kind of problems where largest, highest, those terms come, we always have to use SCF. And SCF by its definition is a number which is the largest number which would evenly divide both 12 and 18. If I want to find out the SCF of 12 and 18, I can repeat the exercise below. That answer is 6. So 6 would be the length which would completely largest possible length which would completely measure, which would evenly sort of measure both these walls of 12 and 18 centimeter. If I go higher than that, let's say I try with 8 centimeters, I just tried, then this would not work, because this 8 centimeter I would not be able to measure 12. Okay, the 12 would end at 4, and of course I would not be able to measure 18 as well, because this 8 does not divide any of those. So I am seeking the largest number, in this case 6, which evenly divides 12 and 18, both of them, and that number is simply my SCF. So in such problems, and the format of problem is structured like this, you are being asked highest number which would evenly divide two numbers in some form or the other, then use SCF. Highest, largest, those are the key terms. Okay, got it. Now let's look at a real problem. So here is one. See, we have length, breadth and height of a room. So there is a room, very simple. Okay, so we can create a room and we are being given its length, breadth and height. Not very difficult task. Okay, and I have to, again, problem is structured very similar to what we have just seen. So the length, breadth and height are given. It is these three numbers are there, and I have to find the length of the largest scale. In this case it's step, again longest step, largest scale, which would measure the three dimensions exactly, so which would evenly divide these three numbers. And of course we now know that that is just the SCF. So very simple. Problem is not difficult at all if you look at the things carefully. If you are very careful, then these problems are very simple, very scoring. And computations fortunately are also not, the teachers, they give you simple computations, fortunately. Okay, so then what we do is that we simply start by dividing the numbers. So first we divide by 5. We know that all of these would be divisible by 5 by virtue of there being a 5 or 0 in the end. So again, using our divisibility test in our head, that's what we are doing, and the answer would be 165, and for this the answer would be 135, and for the last one the answer would be 90. Now from there on we again see that 5 would again be a factor of all of these, so we again divide by 5. Notice, like I said again and again, I am emphasizing, for SCF we continue this division only if all the numbers are divisible. Okay, if the even one of the numbers is not divisible by, let's say it was not divisible by 5, I would stop right there. Okay, that is the key thing here. Do not, okay, in a second we'll look at LCM, and there we'll do it a little differently. So keep this concept very clear, so that when we come to LCM you're not really confused. And of course at this point we can see that these numbers are all divisible by 3, and from there we will realize that at this point we will have to really stop. We cannot go any further because this is 11, so we'll have to just stop. There is no number, these two don't have 11 as factor, so there is no number which can divide all of these three. So from here we know that our SCF, or the length of the largest step, is of course 5 into 5 into 3, which is equal to 75.